Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Now, we are still utilitarian. Acha, so what? Bhagavan, you spoke about avatar to show off what yourself, is it? Bhagavan says, no. I'm telling you about avatar. It is because of you. And the next verse, which is a very important verse, Bhagavan says,
Janma karma cha me divyam
Janma karma cha me divyam
evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Bhagavan says, Janma karma cha me divyam. Evam, in this manner, as Bhagavan has explained, knows veti tattvataha, in essence, in truth, directly, what? Janma karma cha me divyam. Divyam, the divinity, the uniqueness, the speciality of my janma and karma. My birth or manifestation into this world and my sports, my leela, my actions in this world. One who knows tattvataha means internalizes it, recognizes it directly within himself or herself. Tyaktva deham, having abandoned means when it is time to give up this body. Having given up this body, people who have got vasanas and karmas have to take up another body. Na punar janma, there is no birth again for them. This shows the height of intelligence in our Bharatiya culture. As such, nobody wants to die because we want to be eternal. Whether it is progeny also, a plant spreading its seed also, it is to continue forever. People want their name written on the steps of the temple. Yeah. So that somehow that sense of wanting to be eternal. And therefore, nobody wants to die. Therefore, it is said that one man went to a great saint. Said that, I know you have got the secret of immortality. I don't want to die. The saint said, if you don't want to die, don't be born. Because jo upjo so binas hai paro aaj ke kaal. That which is born will perish. And therefore, na punar janma. There is no birth again for that person. Now there are very funny people, huh? In this birth they are suffering. And when you tell them there will be no more birth, no, but I want to be born again. Well, there is no compulsion. You have a choice if you want to be born again. But why would you want to be born? Mameti Sorjuna. Saha, that person, he Arjuna, is not born again into this world of change, this world of anxiety, this world of sorrow, but comes to me. And who is this me? Who is Ajaha? Who is Avyaya? And who is the bestower of all bliss. So comes to me. Now the significance of Ag, and what I am explaining, Bhagavan is going to elaborate in this verse. That what is the divinity of my birth and the divinity of my actions. And how knowing it directly, the jiva, you, I, can attain the supreme and never fall back into this world of change, anxiety and suffering. What is the divinity of Bhagwan's birth? That even though the Atma, the self, is unborn and imperishable, its birth takes place only because of Maya, ignorance and delusion, and due to our false identification with the body, mind and intellect. And therefore, one who realizes that what Bhagwan is speaking about is the secret of your birth also. Yeah. That even though you are unborn, infinite consciousness, ever present, imperishable, which Bhagwan has already told to Arjuna in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. But it is only out of your ignorance and false identification with your body, because of your desires and unfulfilled thoughts and actions, that we take up a body, identify that this body is me, and that is what is called as birth. And if one has understood tattvataha, the essence of birth, then such a person is not born again. The divinity of my action, which of course Bhagwan himself is going to explain from the next few verses onwards. That Bhagwan as Ishvara creates this entire world in which people are doing that which is good as well as that which is evil. But why does Bhagwan not get tainted, affected, limited, desirous? Because all Bhagwan's action is done without attachment. And whatever, even Bhagwan's avatar, and we don't need evidence, if you see with his Ramchandra ji's life, Rama Bhagat Hit Narat Anudhari Sahi Sankat Kiye Sadhu Sukhari. Why does that Lord, who can take life and give life or take life whenever he wants, has to come and do this big drama to come and fight with Ravan, go through all that battle to kill Ravan. He can take away Ravan's life. Finished. Yeah. It is Dharma Samsthapana. And why Dharma Samsthapana? Because Bhagata Hita, for the well-being of everyone. This is the divinity of Bhagwan's action. And if we live our life doing actions for Bhagwan's sake, like Hanumanji, what did he do? Anything for himself? Yeah. Whether it was Vibhishan in Lanka, whether it was Sugriv in Kishkinda, Bhagwan's work is for the well-being of everybody. He tried Ravan also. He gave advice to Ravan also. And then threatened Ravan also by burning Lanka. Wake up. Because some people know, lato ke bhoot baaton se nahi mante. You need a bit of kick in life to awaken, isn't it? Yesterday, how many at least spoke about the kicks of the life? So, dharma samsthapanarthaya. Bhagwan does this. So, those who do dharma karya perform their duties for the well-being of everybody, not complain. Oh, but this is very difficult. I don't have energy. I want to rest. What do we learn from the sun? This is the divinity. And in such action, not only do you become glorious, not only those that cause you sorrow, anxiety, those vasanas are eliminated, and the grosser ones that cause atrocities, selfishness, etc. in the world, that torture you even more and suffering, those are eliminated. And such a person who understands the divinity of Bhagwan's work and action and becomes a sevak of Bhagwan, like Hanumanji, like all the saints and sages. Not only their work is glorious, not only they become glorious, they begin to recognize the infinite potential that lies within them. Otherwise, what godliness can we see within ourselves? What realization people are trying to do? What, stand on the head? So that power which is in the bottom of their spine comes to the head, because they can't lift it up. So they go. Or just by reading books that I am Brahman. To even accept divinity in yourself, you have to see divinity manifest in your actions. And when does divinity mention action? And whose action we consider as divine? Yeah. By whose living many benefit. It is in such people that we can see the manifestation of divinity. Why can we see God in our mother? Because of a constant love, a constant selfless service. Why do we see it in our father? Why do we see it in our guru? To be able to see it within yourself, tattvataha, if we live our life as demonstrated by Bhagwan. And whether you see the life of Ramchandraji or you see the life of Sri Krishna, every moment it was for the welfare of everybody. And particularly Krishna's life. Born in the jail. separated from his parents. All that time fighting these demons to protect whom? The children, the inhabitants of Vraja. And just when everything is getting kosher and he is loved by everybody, the Gopas, the Gopis and everybody, having picked up even 7 days, 7 nights, Govardhan mountain to protect everybody. Mathura calls him, duty calls him, he's there in Mathura. When his whole kingdom has been built, secure in the ocean, Dwarka, Atlantis we believe, and we create in Dubai. Yeah. But far before Atlantis was Dwarka and more glorious. Yeah. The country's center is in danger. He goes to the battlefield with no want for himself and sits as the charioteer, taking the arrows first, but leading Arjuna's chariot to Dharma. This is called as the divinity of Bhagwan's karma. And if you can just try to admire and live such a life, you can recognize the divinity within you, the birth or the manifestation of divinity in you, and then you understand that your body is only an equipment. And when you give up the body, does not mean only at the time of death. But when you give up your identification with this body, knowing that the body is only an equipment and it is not me, then tattvataha you recognize that Atma, which is Ajaha, which is Avyaya, which is Krishna. No? So this is called as tattvataha. But there is much more significance. Even when you say listening to the Leelas of Bhagwan. When we hear Ramayana Katha, when we hear Bhagavatam Katha, when we listen to all the Leelas of Bhagwan, not only it demonstrates to us how we should act in our life, what is glorious living, what is attaining greatness, and how we live a life of karma yoga and not get bound. If we really see the Leelas of Bhagwan, that how Bhagwan goes through all the suffering for us. I remember when I was with Gurudev in Taipei, and as usual, such a great saint has come, and especially the mothers, the ladies, they would hang around in the house because they're cooking and they're talking about what they have to cook next and all that. So they were there. I was a young brahmachari, just 1 year out of the ashram. I was traveling with Gurudev, and Gurudev just said that daytime, you ladies are hanging around in the house. Yeah. Morning, evening sessions he was taking. My brahmachari is here. He'll speak on the Ramayana. And you all listen. Now, I had 3 days only, so I took up Navidha Bhakti. And first day, I said, all these people are listening to Upanishad in the morning, Gita in the evening, and highly intellectual, socialites, This bhakti. Even now means bhakti means some rituals, and worshipping some god which we do not know, and that makes us religious. You hear it in your big cities. Yeah. So I first gave them the complete, logic of the Ramayana. No? Gurudev walked. It was a 2-floor building. It was a duplex flat. He walked down just when I just concluded. He walked down. He looked into the eyes of all these ladies. He looked at me. Not even one tear in their eyes. What Ramayana Katha have you told them? And he looked at them. All our life we only cry for ourselves, beg for ourselves. But when we listen to what all Bhagwan went through so graciously, and when it touches your heart, in those tears of devotion, he says, countless vasanas and karmas get washed off. When you develop that inspiration and compassion to feel the sorrows of others, so many of your selfishness, your vasanas are burnt down. So when we listen to Bhagavad Katha, touches our hearts. That's why Goswami Tulsidas ji says, "Hey Murakh man, oh, Kutil man." Just listen to the glories of the Lord. And if that cannot melt your heart, then you're not even worth calling a stone. Yeah. There's also some greater subjective significance. So as we listen to the karma of Bhagwan, not only it gives us the inspiration to act in such a way, but melts our hard heart, in which all our vasanas get, not all, but most of our vasanas get eliminated, and our mind turns to Bhagwan with faith, surrender, and therefore so many of our anxieties and worries come to an end. Bin seva jo dravai deen par Ram saris ko nai, aisa ko udar jagbai. That even Vibhishan, Ravan's brother, has not done any seva. Bhagwan has already made him the king of Lanka. Tumro mantra Vibhishan mana Lankeshwar bhai sab jag jana. When it melts our heart, when devotion, faith, and inspiration comes in our heart, He is the Lord of all virtues. What you think, you become. When you develop all these virtues, then you are fit for this realization. Yeah? And you discover that you are birthless, you are deathless. And that is attainment of Brahman, that is attainment of God consciousness. And one comes to recognize the oneness with Bhagwan. That's why I said, Yo Veti Tattvata. In the evening session, we'll take you to another depth. And what does it mean? And how this birth, as well as Bhagwan's karma, leads us to the highest meditation. That we'll see in the evening session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.